Hello, hello, hello. We are back to talk about new fast frameworks that will give you phenomenal results. And today we're going to talk about when his bad mood ruins yours, a three-step framework to create immediate calm. Now, the example we're going to use, by the way, these fast frameworks are real examples of frameworks I've created for real clients in real time, and I'm going to be sharing them anonymously so you can borrow them. And they're so versatile. It's just an example of the customized work we do in Next Level Freedom, my large group coaching program. So this example is about a wife who's worried that her husband's bad mood is ruining hers and just ruining the evening. And of course, you can imagine that this also will help you with your boss's bad mood, your teenager's bad mood, your neighbor's bad mood, your coworker's bad mood, the surgeon who he calls to scream at you's bad mood, the patient's bad mood, right? This can help you in all parts of life. Your mother's bad mood, your bad mood. It can help with all of it. It's so versatile. And this also is a great framework to highlight that in Next Level Freedom, we don't just work on career. Of course we do. And also we help you with every part of your life. So step one is to find what is the driving issue that's really the problem here. And I know that sounds like a weird question, but you do want to find the specific problem so that you can develop a specific solution to it. This is where it's going to be super helpful to have a coach, have someone outside of your brain who can help you walk through it. Because if you're on your own, your brain's probably going to say, of course it's annoying, Christina, right? But you have to actually find out what's driving it. So in this particular case, which is very common for physician women, what's driving it when we kind of dug deeper is she's going to have so much work to do. Every time her husband has a bad mood, she tells herself she's got to go make sure he's okay. She's got to go tell the kids to be quiet. She's got to go clean the house so he's not super annoyed. She needs to make his favorite dinner. She's got to cater to all of his needs because she's trying to keep the house calm. And she thinks the only way to keep the house calm is to go into overdrive work, fixing everything. And this thought is going to have you overdrive work at your job, in your marriage, with your kids. So we unpacked, she's got this thought that's driving all of it. I have to fix everything. It's creating so much work for her. No wonder every time her husband has a bad mood, she gets really stressed out because she's told herself she has all this work to do. And we just started questioning it. Where did that come from? Who told you you had to do all this work? And she thought about it for a minute. She's like, it's just how it is. It's how it's always been. Habits, folks, are easily broken. You just have to do one new thing and the habit just starts falling apart. And with so much love, we can kind of understand that this kind of conditioning generally is going to come from society, maybe from her family, telling her that good wives make sure everyone in their house is well fed and happy at all times, which is, of course, when we checked in with her, she was like, oh, that's not possible, right? It's just not possible to keep all of them happy at one time. So she could see that what was driving all of this was an impossible situation. And now we get to make decisions to change all of it. So step one is find the driving issue. Step two is to consider the opposite. So we started kind of questioning, okay, since this is impossible, what if the really true belief here is you can't fix everything? She said, that feels like tremendous relief. I love that thought. And I already believe it because how do I know? I've spent a lifetime with this man and those kids, and I'm never able to keep all of them happy for longer than a couple minutes. So much is out of our control. It's such a relief. You can apply this to your job. At your job, what if it's just true? You cannot control the boss, the coworkers, the lab, the staff, the patients getting there on time, clinic moving on time. None of that is your problem to fix. It actually can't be fixed. The election, the politics, on and on, all of that is out of our control. We have parts of it we can control and we can focus on that. But this step two was considering the opposite thought. I can't be, this is not my job to fix. So powerful. And then we kind of explore like what are other thoughts what are other ways to help support her in changing this habit her family has dropped into. Something we came across is it's actually better if they work this out. How do we know? Is because if they work it out, they get to start figuring out how to talk with each other about the specific example was husband comes home and sees the kids have made a mess of the house. And husband yells at the kids and kids yell back at the husband and they both start yelling at each other. That's the point where she was getting super stressed out. She was thinking, I need to go in and make sure everyone's calm. I need to go do all the cleaning and make sure everyone's happy and getting along. We're just like, what if it's actually best for them to yell at each other and figure it out? And she could find the truth in that too. That if at any time there was an argument, she went into cleaning, her kids would never learn to clean up after themselves. And husband would never learn that he's got to have a conversation with the kids in a more, like, a less emotion, in a more effective way. That this is them working it out, figuring out. Because when I asked her what will happen on the other side of this, she's like, well, kids will come around and they'll clean it up and he'll come around and be happy and they'll get back together and they have a really great relationship. How do I know this? They're always hanging out together and half the time they're yelling and half the time they're having a great time. So we could reassure her this is them working it out. This is what it looks like for them to work it out. There's actually nothing for you to do here. There is no job that says you have to fix everything. This is them fixing it. Now, the job we wanted to offer her brain, because in that moment, brains like to be busy. And if in that moment she's feeling distressed about them yelling at each other, her job is to take care of her. Her brain will say, go out there and fix everything. In coaching, we reverse it all. How can I take care of me? How can I hold myself through this middle part? And so the dialogue we developed was, I don't like this. I don't like them yelling at each other. And this is how they're going to work. This is how they're figuring out communicating with each other. This is how the kids are learning how to do their chores. I have nothing to do here but take care of me and reassure me that nothing has gone wrong. This is all as it should be. They are working things out. What I had shared with her is we as doctors have this idea that we shouldn't have problems. We just kind of like have this idea everything should be black and white, perfect and clean all the time. There should be, we should all be in good feelings all the time, which is just impossible. I learned something great from my residency program director. We had, cap inspections. They'd come and inspect a lab, a residency program, make sure everything's running well. And he would say, sometimes we on purpose want to be cited. We want it to become a problem, an issue that's cited, so that we can force the hospital to give us more funds and support to fix it. How brilliant is that? So there's this idea that not only is it a good thing that this becomes a problem, like we want them to yell at each other and figure this out so that we can get a permanent solution in the house. Because the permanent solution of mom cleaning and taking care of everyone's mood is not a solution at all. It ruins her mood and it stresses her out. So what if we just kind of look at this yelling and love it? And it's going to lead to a permanent solution here. The kids are going to learn how to take care of them, of those messy little Kleenexes over the floor. And dad's going to learn how to talk to them in a more effective way. Okay, so step 1 is identify issue. Step 2 is consider the opposite issue. And step 3 is you really can fix it. The fix is supporting yourself through this middle phase. It's temporary. It won't last forever. It's the thing. If you can hold yourself through the middle phase where you're freaking out that they're yelling at each other, and it allows them to work this out for a permanent solution, this is the fix. You taking care of yourself in this very brief moment in time. So some ways we approach at how you can even expand taking care of yourself in this moment is they just need a moment. Sometimes humans need a moment. We don't like what we're seeing. And also, everything is okay. This is them working out. They just need a moment to work through this. Sometimes the yelling can be activating because we're thinking, oh my gosh, the kids are being damaged. The relationship is being strained. That's definitely a thought I've had in the past when I saw my husband and son yelling at each other. And then I realized, no, actually, they're very close. And sometimes they yell at each other. This is them working through it. And my son actually told me, he's like, Mom, I know you stress out every time Daddy and I yell at each other, but I want you to know I'm okay. I can handle it. Right. Like, I don't need you to jump in and protect me, Mom. I thought it was brilliant. And I was like, oh, and then I could see the truth in it. They have such a good relationship. And every once in a while they yell at each other. Not all the time, but it's every once in a while. And my brain would tell me, oh, they're yelling at each other. So there's a damage in the relationship. I think the reverse is true. They're yelling at each other because they get along so well. They trust each other to sort through this. This is just temporary. Everything will come back to normal. Husband will calm down. Kids will clean the room. There is nothing for me to do here but take care of me. Husband always comes down. He is never yelling forever. It's like brief little 5-second thing. Kids always get their chores done. They don't just let the Kleenexes pile up forever. They always get it done. They have a great relationship, and this is part of it because this is them learning how to communicate with each other. I'm a good mom. They are good kids and husbands. And sometimes this is what it looks like for a real family to work through things. I don't love this. We're going to talk about it later. We're going to talk when everyone calms down. We're going to talk with the kids about what we expect of them. And I'm going to privately talk with husband about how I don't love the yelling. And in the meantime, I'm going to go to my coach. I'm going to go to my therapist, my spiritual counselor, my friends. I'm going to support myself in a very nourishing way. That is your fast framework for when you don't like someone else's mood. Is one, figure out what is the driving issue. Really, what don't you like about it? What is your brain making it mean it's so distressing? Step two, consider the opposite, which is in the situation for her, I can't fix this. Such relief. And then step three, the real fix is supporting you through all of it. For more, you're going to want to make sure you're on our email list where we come up with fast frameworks and we share them. That comes directly to your inbox. So convenient, with a link to our YouTube channel so you can see these videos in real time. When you're on the email list, you're going to be the first to hear of any goodies, specials, webinars. We're always doing fun things around here. Get on the email list today. See you there. Bye.